Alright guys, so let's continue with volume and capacity. Alright, first thing we're going to look at, measuring volume and capacity. Again, capacity is the amount of water that I can put inside this bottle. The volume is the amount of water that is currently inside this bottle. Alright? Measuring volume and capacity in milliliters. Guys, milliliter is a unit of measurement of volume and capacity. It is smaller. It's a smaller unit than liter. Abbreviated ml, milliliter. Right? It's normally, you'll use something like this, which is measured 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 milliliters. So that means that little stripe there will be 50, right? That will be 150, 250, 350, 450. And this is normally when you make things like food, you need to measure off a bit of milk. Maybe you're making a dessert and you need to put some milk into the dessert. The recipe says 250 milliliters of milk and 50 milliliters of water. Then you can normally use something like this and you'll measure it in milliliters. Liquids such as water, milk, and oil, cooking oil, right? Cooking oil do not have shape. They occupy the shape of the container, so they don't have a shape. It's liquid, alright? And therefore we need to use a cup, a measuring cup. Alright, let's go to the next page. Okay. Find the capacity of the measuring cup and the volume of the orange juice. Capacity, how much, right? The capacity of the measuring cup is 500 milliliters. The volume of the orange juice is 250 milliliters. Same example 2, find the capacity of the measuring jar and the volume of the coffee inside. I can't really read, but you can look at it. 50, 100, 200, so that should be 300, right? The capacity of the measuring jar is 300 milliliters. And it's filled up all the way to the top. So the volume is also 300 milliliters. Alright guys, so milliliters. Milliliters would be the appropriate way of measurement when we're measuring liquids like water, milk, or cooking oil. Alright, let's see what's next. Choosing appropriate tools. Different tools can be used to measure volume and capacity. Measuring tools for large quantities. Okay. A measuring can is used to measure the volume of large quantities. For example, it is used to measure the volume of gasoline, petrol, that's gasoline, right? And oil. For cars, not cooking oil, oil for cars. So this is a big tank. It looks like it might be able to keep up to 5 liters or something, alright? It's a pretty big tank. Some of them can carry up to 25 liters. 5 liters, or a big can, it's 25 liters of oil. Measuring tools for medium quantities, which is not hundreds of liters, but it's not milliliters, right? It's maybe 5 liters, 2 liters, 3 liters, alright, depending on what we're looking at. A measuring cup is used to measure the volume of moderate quantities. Not too large, but not too small. For example, 2 liters. This contains 1 liter. That means we'll need 2 of these to measure out 2 liters. Okay, for example, can be used to measure coconut oil. That's used for cooking. Alright, so you need 2 liters or you need 3 liters of coconut oil. Or making a large recipe for pancakes. Large recipe for pancakes. You need 1 liter of water. Alright, then you can use something like that. Right, guys. Measuring tools for small quantities. My recipe that I use to make Thai omelette, right? It says I need to add a teaspoon of vinegar. No, half a teaspoon of vinegar. And I need to add a teaspoon of Thai fish sauce. Then I need to add a tablespoon of water. Alright, so a tablespoon, teaspoon, right? A tablespoon and a teaspoon are used to measure the volume of small quantities. For example, they are used to measure the amount of sugar, cooking oil, and flour. And that's quite interesting because part of my Thai omelette recipe is rice flour, right? And it says a tablespoon of rice flour as well. Okay. However, the capacity of a tablespoon is slightly greater than a teaspoon. A teaspoon is a bit smaller, right? Sometimes it will tell you just a teaspoon. Sometimes it will tell you a tablespoon. Okay. Have a look at this. You can pause the screen. You can have a look at this if you want. Maybe complete it so long. You can ask me if you're correct, or just for a bit of extra exercise, you guys can do this page. Alright, let's just look at one more page. Alright guys, comparing volume and capacity. Look at these ink jars. They are all exactly the same size, right? But you can see they are filled to different levels with ink. Alright? The capacity, that means how much ink each jar can take. The capacity of each bottle is 10 milliliters. Okay? And then it just shows us what each volume of each color is. And then it tells us like the black ink is the most. Alright? You guys can have a look at the screen and you can compare and see if you understand it. Okay? It's pretty straightforward. You just have to read the volume of each bottle. Let me see if there's something else. Alright, guys, that's it for now. You have homework. In your workbooks, page 157, all the way to the end of page 163. I'm going to say it again. Page 157. And you have to finish all the way to page 163. Alright, I'll see you guys for the next lesson. Bye.